can relate. Yeah, I can relate. Yeah, I can relate. Yeah, I can relate. I can relate. I can relate. I can relate. I can relate.
What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Relatable Content. What's up, Adrian?
Ooh, what's up? I'm excited, particularly excited this episode. You know.
I want to start this off by introducing this person with a story that they don't even know about, which is hilarious. So I started watching Drag Race, maybe like season 5 or so. But I remember specifically once you get in the groove of like just watching your show, you can kind of just tell like the direction of like, oh, who's gonna do good, kind of. And then sometimes it'll throw you off. Season 8 of Drag Race aired, and this person, when I saw their Meet the Queens episode, I was like, I have never, like, I just saw myself, and I also just saw the winner, like, instantly, and I was gagged. So I don't know if y'all still do this, but I used to name my cars, and I named my car after this person. I swear to God. When I was 20 years old, I named my car after this person, and I just remember being so obsessed, and I messaged them on Instagram in 2016 and said, I'm going to be your friend. I want to be your friend one day. And fast forward to this moment with the icon, a real icon. We got motherfucking Bob the drag queen in the building today.
Period, bitch.
Not the 1998 Atlanta
DJ,
Chris Lova Poon Daddy sound effect.
Yes, you get it.
So
Oh
on
my
April
God.
21st of 2016, I got a message from someone named Ocean Kelly, and it says, obsessed with you. You're the most witty person I have ever heard speak. I want to be your friend so badly. LMAO, laughing, crying emoji. That
Oh
was
my God.
on.
Wild. That is crazy.
And the next thing I got was on April 12th of
I'm scared.
this year was I think you mentioned me in your story. And the next thing that the very first text from me was my phone number, and it was me saying, when are we doing our song? Hey.
Yeah,
And the rest
yeah.
is literally history.
That is what you call manifestation, y'all. Like, that is crazy. I actually want to kind of start off with that. I was going to ask you about just music in general, because a lot of times when we refer to as a society, as like a queer society, when they reference like drag queens or any type of drag performer who does music or queer performer, they categorize it as drag music or queer music.
Yep.
And how does that make you feel? Like, how do you feel about that?
So I have a couple of different feelings about it. One is that it can be kind of diminishing if the performer is doing some kind of music, because the truth is, usually it is a drag performer doing music, but it still falls into some other different category completely. You know what I mean? Like Adore Delano, who's like doing rock music, but they're calling it drag music. And I'm like, it's a drag queen doing rock music is what it really is. But also, part of me is like, I don't want to be a part of this thing that feels like doing drag music is shameful in any regard.
Right.
The categorizing it as drag music makes it seem like it's less than, because people will say like drag music and real music. I'll never forget. I did this gig with, I'm not gonna say the company, but it's a fitness bike company. Let's put it that way. And I did with Trixie. And we were talking to this person. It was like a Zoom thing, and this person was like, Bob, now I know that you have music, but like I want to talk to Trixie, because Trixie, you make like real music. And I was like,
Jeez.
Wait a minute now.
what am I over here making fucking Fisher Price shit? like what you mean?
The kids are listening to kids
Trixie make real music. Nigga, my music real too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And even Trixie was like, oh my God. Trixie was like, that. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
And Trixie even called me afterwards and was like, I don't know why that guy said that. I am embarrassed that he said that. That is. And I was like, well, I know it wasn't you, Trixie. And like, I know Trixie didn't like prompt him to say that, but it was very off-putting, and it was very shocking to hear someone to my face
Just try to diminish.
Yeah,
try to diminish what you create. That's crazy.
Yeah. Because I do think I do make really faggy music, and that's intentional.
As you should, yeah.
And it's not from a lack of ability to make other kinds of music. It is because this is the music that speaks to me. It's the music I listen to in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, I think that I almost feel like that. It's sometimes it feels like as humans, we have an obsession with like just categorizing people somewhere. I feel like they do it with women. They say, "Oh, you're a female rapper." I feel like they do it with black people when they try to make country music. Oh, this is not country. It's like, with the whole Little Nas thing,
Urban.
it's
It's urban country.
Yeah.
It's urban country.
What's
Like, Hootie making real ass country music. Hootie ain't making that shit. Ain't urban. Hootie just black and making country music. I think that it's a way for them to differentiate us or make us, separate from other things, or maybe just their way of being like, honestly, this is what it boils down to. When I was in college, this girl at the university was trying to describe someone. She was trying to describe. I think I told you the story before. Trying to describe a person that she was talking to. But she was like, there was this girl standing in front of me in line, and this other girl was like, well, what did she look like? She goes, she was like tall. She had like kind of like her hair was in a ponytail. She's wearing athletic wear, but she was trying to get her to say, was she black or was she white?
Right.
What she actually said was, she said, was she black or was she like normal? And I was like, ooh. So that's really how you see. That's how you see it. You see you and your people as the standard, and everyone else as some like bastardization of your whiteness. Mm-hmm. Like it really became very clear how Miss Thing felt in that moment.
I feel like even sometimes even if they don't say it like that, you can tell based off of how they talk about certain things and how they treat you, or like, or they question you to see where they should put you in terms of like their respect for you, like, or how they should, how they should interact with you.
And then they also really give you a lot of that when it comes to when you exist in intersectionality, when you be intersectionalizing, when you be black and queer, you get it from a lot of places. When white people will say something like their black friend, or they'll be describing Ocean, like, I love Ocean. He's this really talented. He's a really nice, like a really talented black musician. You know what I mean? Or when you talk to your straight friends, they'll be like, honestly, for a gay nigga, he cool as hell.
I mean, see now you're really preaching.
They think it's a compliment. No, honestly, no. Ocean Kelly is like an amazing. He's like he's gay. He is gay. No, Ocean Kelly is gay. But when it comes to the rapping, I mean, it sounds like real rap. Like someone taught this faggot how to rap for real. That's crazy.
No, that. I mean, you're just preaching. I don't even know what to say to that. You're fucking preaching. That's literally the story of my goddamn life. Did you see this thing about Akiria Davenport? They were getting mad at her saying the word trade. So Aja actually tweeted about it and really just broke it down and was like, girl, what the fuck are y'all talking about? And had to explain the history of the word trade and how it comes from ballroom and just all these things. And it's like,
they use the word in a different way than it's originally originally intended to be used, and then basically. They were interpreting it differently.
Well, I will say, I mean, language does evolve. So, and also language is regional. So in Brazil, trade might mean something different than trade means here. I don't know the context of trade. Akiria, wow, I just asked if I'm FTM, LOL. Here I am thinking I'm the trade. So if anyone wondering, Akiria said, wow, I was asked if I was FTM, meaning a trans man. Mm-hmm. LOL, here I am thinking I'm the trade. And then Got Mick posted this emoji. Because Got Mick is a trans man. And then Akiria said, so before this becomes a thing, taken all the wrong way, let me first ask you, what is trade? Or what does it mean to you? Is being trade a badge of honor that one seeks to validate their transition? Is Akiria's pregunta. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I will say this. I can see why this is a problematic tweet. So here's the thing. So from my understanding, originally when people would say trade specifically meant like butch, cis male, like presenting. That was what like trade was. Like that's what over the course of time, trade has kind of evolved into meaning like hot and attractive, or someone you're just kind of hooking up with. Like, oh, is this your trade? It can be like the faggiest, femmiest person being like, oh, this is my trade over here. So if I'm imagining if I was, we used to do something on the season 8 tour called the Trade Parade. You ever heard of the Trade Parade? The Trade Parade is when all the girls go to the club. All the girls go to the club, And we end up hooking up with different people, and then we take them back to our hotel rooms. But we have to be at the bus to go to the airport at like 6 a.m. So everyone has to meet in the lobby at like 5:50. But at the time everyone's coming down, all their trades coming down simultaneously. So you can see everyone saying goodbye to their trade.
Yeah.
And after a while, you start to really clock each other's like type. So you know what Betty's trade is. You know what Naomi's trade is. You like even if you don't see them, you're like, oh, that's
so
Naomi's. That's Naomi's trade for sure.
Next time, play like some HBCU like band music on,
Yes,
on your
when they
phone.
come down. We need charging. We need the dancers too in the band, man.
Right, the whole oh my
Jason
god,
and shit.
right?
Yes.
Yes, that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we used to call it the trade parade. So over time, trade has kind of evolved, and language does evolve. I understand that. So trade has kind of evolved to being like hot, sexy, but it also, in some instances, still means like butch, masculine presenting. And I guess that what Got Mick was, I don't know how Got Mick was interpreting, but I guess I could hear that being interpreted as like, I was asked if I was FTM, and here the whole time I thought I was sexy
or hot when exactly. And that's why, but see, and that's why even in the ballroom community, they still do use words like Butch Queen and like things like that. So it's like, I feel like it's only a matter of time before
Butch
a word
Queen.
like that. You
Oh,
see?
that's cool as fuck.
But that is, and to me, that is, I understand like language evolving. But I do think that we kind of live in this climate to where we don't allow people to, I can't even necessarily say like learn. I feel like that is something that's authentic and a curious experience, just like where she comes from and how and the way that she meant it. So, but I do also understand it's like a double-edged sword, because at the same time, when you do have a platform like that, it's like you kind of have to understand it,
And I think that they probably come in from different areas. And I also know that a lot of times when you're called out on something, it is so easy to go on the defense than it is to go into learning mode. It's easy to be like, fuck y'all. No. I mean, that's literally my entire podcast on Monday Exchange. But I love the term Butch Queen. I mean, I will always be a Butch Queen. I mean, I have a Butch Queen tattooed on my hands. That is like being a Butch Queen is a big part of my full ass identity. And I'm sure, but also as I go, and if others wondering, Butch Queen is just like a gay guy up in drags. Like when you're like, femme queens are, typically speaking, trans women who do drag, and Butch Queen is like when a gay guy does drag. And language evolves, and even in the ballroom culture, language evolves as well. And although I don't necessarily identify as a man, I identify closely with being a gay man, because that is, widely how I'm perceived. I would tell folks I'm a non-binary man, which kind of sounds confusing to people who aren't in the know. But the girls who get it, and the girls who
don't.
Absolutely.
I want to pivot here and ask you, because I saw something that you said on the show, like in one of the confessionals, about like confidence versus arrogance, and how like you said that that people perceive you as arrogant when it's just like, I have to be I have to because the other option is just like
not believing in yourself.
Yes,
I mean, there is a part of like the world that's really into
your face is saying it all.
People being not into themselves. It's like the world is really into you thinking you're a piece of shit. I mean, what's that group One Direction? They had a whole song about how it's sexy to think you're not sexy. You don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. And that's what makes you beautiful. Bitch, let's rewind that. All you're saying is your low self-esteem makes you sexy. I like a bitch that thinks she ain't shit. I need a bitch that don't know her worth. And that's what makes you beautiful. A bitch who don't know shit, a bitch who will undervalue herself, that gets my dick hard.
That's what they're saying. That's really like.
And that's messy. That is so messy. And I am one of those folks who my mom really thinks my Martha Caldwell is honestly, if you want to blame my arrogance or confidence on anyone, go chat with Martha Caldwell, my mom, because she really thinks I'm great. I mean, she really thinks the sun rises when I wake up in the morning. She thinks it's set when I go to sleep at night. Like, she's just like, my son is just the best fucking thing walking. And after hearing that for so long, I was like, well, I have to believe you, because why would my mom lie to me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I also don't think that, sometimes I don't think that parents realize how instrumental like things like that are. Like, that shit is so important for a child's upbringing, because the alternative is a lot of people can develop like that super villain. What's it called? Like your super villain origin story.
Your villain origin story. Yeah.
Where it's like, because of the way you were raised and the things you've been around, it gets you so frustrated where you feel this need to rebel. Some people, take it and it enlightens them and they try to become a better person than other people. It gets to them. Like, shit is really hard. Just especially like in the black community, in the black gay community. Like, I saw a TikTok about a guy talking about how he came to visit Atlanta, and I've been saying this for years, so it really gagged me when he said the exact sentence of, I feel like when I go out to the club, everything is like a competition. Like, everybody feels like they're on this like weird energy of just like they have something to prove. Like, they're mad before we even engage, and we're at a club. So it's just like, what? It's just the weirdest thing to me.
That's why I just feel like we find spots where it's like, oh my gosh, okay, the atmosphere is cool. Like, because they do exist in ATL, but I can see why someone would come here not knowing where to go and just go into like the typical places, and they feel that energy. Because I do too. I'm like smiling and hey, and people, I feel like they don't even know how to take that genuineness anymore, because it's like, can I trust that? Which is so sad, But
well, I mean, I really wish, whenever people talk about the Atlanta gay scene, I really wish I could relate, but I was never an adult in Atlanta. When I lived in Atlanta, I was in high school and middle school. And then as soon as I became an adult, I moved to Columbus, Georgia. So all of my adult years are in Columbus. So my club was like the Mad Hatter and the Chandelier, which I don't even know if those clubs even exist anymore. Like, I don't even know if those, I hate, it's like
were they bars?
Like, they were bar. Yeah, well, the Chandelier was like a club bar. And so was the Mad Hatter, which was downtown. The Chandelier was like the black club. The Mad Hatter was the other one. And I mean, but I also was like sneaking in because I was 19, 18, 20, sneaking into the club. And all my friends were straight, so I was also going to sports bars like a maniac. Imagine me today at a straight bar. I could never. Bob the Drag Queen at O'Flaherty's Pub, I'll pass. But I have a few experiences, like going to Atlanta Pride. I did get my ID taken at the Bulldog.
Oh, Miss So I don't even. Let's just.
Yeah. Okay. So
wait, what happened with the Bulldog? Wait, what is up with the Bulldog?
Nothing.
You know what? No, hold on. Don't make me pull up my buttons, because I'll be pressing these sound effects. No. Let me tell you. Here's the thing about Bulldogs. Bulldogs was one of those places that I just, especially getting into it when I was like in my younger 20s. Oh my God, did I just say that? The pandemic has me confused. When I was in my younger 20s, that's crazy. I'm old. I'm just playing. No, when I was in my younger 20s, my ADHD is like, when I was in my younger 20s, if I say that one more time, I'm feeling very much peppermint.
Yeah, it's fashion.
It's fashion. No, but we used to go there all the time, and it was fun as hell until that's when things started to get a little crazy. I think I went there one time with Tony, and he had on like a vest that almost looked like a SWAT vest, and they let him in, and literally one of the security guards grabbed him like this and just like started backing him out the door. I went there with one of my friends who was non-binary, and they were like, oh, well, I don't know if you in drag or if you a girl or what, but it's $10 for girls. And he presents male, is like, what is going on? Like, it's and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it really do be your own people. So it's just again, it's one of those places that's not a pocket for us to go. So it's just kind of hard finding that. And I feel like every time I have found places to go, it's always has to do with drag. It always has to do with like queer performance art, or just something where people are more comfortable. And just like,
is Bulldog still there?
Yep. It's one of the longest running bars.
I don't think she's going anywhere.
To those of you who are maybe not from Atlanta or don't know, the Bulldogs is the black gay club or bar in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've only been to Bulldog. I only successfully got in once. I tried to go when I was 21, but I got my ID taken because I gave my friend. This is such a dumb bitch move. It was such an idiot move. It was my birthday, and I had a driver's license and a driver's permit, so I gave my permit to my friend behind me. Like he was like 2 or 3 people behind me. His name was Jarrett. And I was like, because Jarrett was 20. I was like, we got to get Jarrett in. So I got to the front, and the guy was like, oh, happy birthday. I said, thank you. And he goes, all right, let me stamp you. Stamp me.
Oh, shit.
And then my friend Jarrett got there, and he was like, happy birthday. And then he put it in his pocket. It was like, you got to go.
Both of y'all? He just was like, that's it?
I came back out to try to get my license. And I did get it back from him. He did give it back, but he would not let us in because he knew what we had done. But yeah,
Oh, wow.
I mean, on my birthday, he was like, "Happy birthday."
Hold mood shift. That is
You
crazy.
gotta go.
Wow.
You gotta go. I was like, honestly, fair, touche,
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
touche. That was a dumb
crazy.
bitch move. You got me good. But yeah, I hate that it's not like a. I hate that that happened there because you know you're trying to like have this experience at this black gay bar and then
Yeah.
that sounds wild to me.
They will pack it past. I'm really dogging Bulldogs out right now. This is crazy. They will pack it to capacity and we'll have security people with flashlights while you're just standing because there's nowhere to go to like make room for people to walk through. And I'm like, the fire marshal would be so pissed if they saw this. Like,
Let me
this
tell
is
you
crazy.
My whole thing too is like I feel like so they charge women more to get in than men.
They did. I haven't been there since 2019. Maybe something changed. I hope that it did. But 2019.
But they were acting from what you were saying. Sorry, from what you were saying, they were acting like they were fake confused about whatever. Like what.
Tony.
I just hate
identity.
I hate that. I hate that. Like I feel like that's so unnecessary and so like you said, you're supposed to feel safe. So it's like
I'm like, if you need $10, just say you need $10.
Yeah. For real.
exactly.
Like, if you need $10, but also I would like to send a message out to any club owners, promoters, security, anyone who's working in these queer spaces. Like y'all gotta stop being misogynistic. Like it's really not the tea. It's not the
like,
look.
wow.
Charging women more to get into a gay bar, and I know some are gonna be like, it's a safe space for blah blah blah. That's bullshit. I'm gonna
We
call
not
right
even
now.
safe in there. Yeah.
That really is bullshit, and it's really just an opportunity to be misogynistic, and it's really weird how queer AMABs, people who are assigned male at birth, who are queer, how quickly you forget the first ally you ever had when you were in middle school, when you were in high school. It was some straight girl who fucking stood up for you, and then we graduated high school, and then we act like we forgot these bitches were ever our fucking friends, and now you're going around making jokes about how dumb straight girls this and pussyphobic this, and I'm like, wow, it's really interesting how quickly you've turned once you got some queer friends. You forgot all about the bitches who really helped you out, stood up for you, listened to your fucking secrets and all that shit when you were in high school, and I used to be guilty of this. I used to be guilty of this too back in the day, being like feeling this like, I don't know, sense of true gatekeeping for queer spaces, specifically from straight women, like specifically trying to
really?
keep straight women out of these spaces. And if you're in that space still, I understand it because I was once there, and it can be hard to break that kind of mentality or just step back and look at it and be like, wow, that really actually is not the tea.
That's crazy. At a lot of straight bars, I know that they always say that women get in free. And I almost feel like they try to take that same like idea and kind of, do it from. And to me, that is the exact opposite of how you make change and make, shit fair and right and create like a comfortable environment.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Here's a scenario, both of y'all. Adrian, what are your pronouns, by the way, Adrian?
He, him. I mean, it depends on how tipsy my friends are because we'd be like, girl, what's the... So
That's two.
He, him is fine.
So here's a scenario. You two go to the club, right? And this club is called it's called Ugly Bitches or something like that. That's the name of the night. The night's called Ugly Bitches, right?
Okay.
And here's the tea. Beautiful people, the hotter you are, the more they charge you at the door. And ugly people get in free.
Oh.
You get to the front door, security looks you up and down and goes, "You're good." Are you mad?
I don't know.
Wait, because you got in free. Are you mad because you got in? Are you happy? Are you mad because it's up to security? It's like whoever working door, it's up to their discretion. They get to judge you and decide if you're ugly.
Oh,
the most you can pay is $20. And you could also get in for free. If you're flaming hot, you get in for $20. And if you're an ugly dog of a bitch, you get in for free. Security scans you head to toe and goes, "Don't even worry about it." In fact, bring a couple of friends.
Oh
my God.
My God.
So how do you? But you got in free though.
I definitely, honestly, the fact that I got in for free, I would probably use that money that I would have paid to get a drink and cry. So I'm gonna take the L. I think I'm gonna take the L on that. I'm gonna take the L on that.
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna be like, tequila sunrise, please.
Now you walking up to the door holding out a 20 and goes, "You good, man? You good." You walk up with your 20, he goes, "Don't even worry about that, man."
Oh my God.
He starts laughing. You funny, man. Put that money away.
Oh my God.
It depends on how he do it too. Because can you imagine if he's like, "Nah, just come," or if he's like, "Nah, you can get in for free. Come on
like,
in.
You good? Hey, my man's right here. He good. Right? No.
Matter of fact, all they asked is 5 of them.
Yeah.
They good.
You 1, 2, 3, 4.
The next 5 people, damn. This nigga, thank this ugly nigga right here. Y'all better say thank you.
We ain't making no money tonight.
Right, look down the line like, okay, y'all just come on.
Right, let's go. Damn. But it's just like,
Adrian, you walk up, you have your 20 in hand because you're feeling good. You're feeling so sexy. And then he laughs and tells you to put your money away. How do you react?
See, it really depends on what, I guess maybe what liquor I'm drinking at, because I could either be like, damn, that shit was fucking funny. If my friends and shit start laughing, like, it'd be one thing, that's funny. But if I'm mad or something, like, that might be the edge where I'm just like, bitch, fuck this shit, let's go. Like, let's go. Like, why are we even partying here?
I kind of want to do this as a night just to see how people react.
I think I would
hilarious.
go
just to see what I would get charged. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like
you need to patent that because that's like a Key and Peele skit.
Yes.
Like.
I think people would have a really good response to it if they know someone like you's doing it, or like someone who's like funny and like, means it's funny, but if it's like a night, because have you heard of I know when I was in high school, they used to have like paper bag fucking parties, like where you had to be a certain, yes, you have to be a certain skin tone. Like when I was in
explain that to the listeners who don't know what that is.
So like paper bag test, you have to pass the paper bag test. Say if you're lighter than a paper bag, like you get in free. They were doing it to the girl, like it was a heterosexual thing. They were doing some. Yes, it was bad. But that was. I mean, just like how people talk about like, oh my gosh, dark skin is beautiful, but they were the same ones calling people whatever monkeys and scratchers or whatever the hell. So it was in that era of social thought. Yeah. So but that's what I'm saying. I feel like it doesn't come off like that if you're the one doing it, and because the shit is funny and it's not like that deep. But
you could get in for free.
You could.
But you get your feelings hurt.
You could.
Yeah, something that is crazy. When you travel, can you give us like one good or like wild? You also have me saying wild all the time, which is hilarious.
This is
wild. Ever since I actually did like a little Twitter voice sound where I was like, who am I playing for Snatch Game or something? Like, who am I? And everybody was like, this is wild. Like, I'm like, but anyways, yeah.
Wild.
What story can you tell us from just like a gig or like a gig hookup story, whether it be from the trade parade or literally like just like on the app seeing things? What's something that had you say, okay, this is wild. I shouldn't have did this. I can't do this.
Okay, so first of all, most of my Grindr interactions today, I might need to get off Grindr. I might have reached a level where I just can't be on Grindr. Most of my Grindr interactions today are people being like, "You're not Bob the drag queen. Nice try.
Oh,
nice try, honey." And I'm like, I changed my profile. My profile now says, "I promise you, no one is using my pictures to get laid, but it barely works for me. So I promise you that no one out here is pretending to be Bob the drag queen to get ass because it's not even working that well for me, honey." But I will never forget this. I was in Madrid. This was a crazy story. I was in Madrid, and this guy hit me up and wanted to come over, and I was like, okay, sure. And he wanted to go down on me, and I was like, I'm down. to get some suckety slurpity.
Suckity, slurpity, sloppity.
Some sloppity toppity.
Sloppity,
So,
Yeah.
So he comes up. And he has a Spanish accent. We're in Spain. He has a Spanish accent.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of a communication error, like barrier. Like we're having a little bit, but we know what's good. We're getting straight to the deal. And he does his thing. He does his thing, and then he's like still like literally kneeling in front of me, and he like looks up at me while like literally like wiping his face and like and swallowing the protein, swallowing some DNA. With a belly full of Bob DNA, and then looks up at me in my eyes and says, "This is on the Work the World tour. I forgot that's important. This is on the Work the World tour. So I'm there with a bunch of drag queens." Mm-hmm. He looks at me and he goes, "What room is Valentina in?" I was like. I was like, oh my God, room 314. Oh my God.
Whoa. That is fucking.
Wow.
I am screaming.
I mean,
that is wild.
How long did it take you to I mean, how do you even like?
I mean, while he was still like in, like after the gulp. Like instantly. It wasn't while he was putting his clothes. It was like,
oh my God.
What room is Valentina in? All of a sudden, this nigga didn't have an accent no more. He spoke perfect English. This nigga was British. My word, what room is Valentina residing in? Perchance, could you tell me what room the Dame Valentina layeth her head to rest?
Oh.
Please.
I was like, nigga, you not from Spain. This nigga followed us from New Jersey. This nigga is right. And I one time had a guy also, as he was leaving the room, as he was leaving, he said, "Can you tell Latrice I love her?" I was like,
my God.
y'all are
That shit is
wild.
They're like, I got nothing to lose now. Like,
he's like, I'm already leaving, so whatever.
But also, I was thinking to myself, like, did he make it to my room? Did someone send him to my room? How much protein did he have?
Yeah.
Like, did he just blow fucking Trinity the Tuck and was like, what room's Bob in? I'm going to get Bob.
Just
like,
going down the line.
I'm just imagining that I was like the 8th person on the list. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Imagine if he just going from room to room. He just
just
gotta
like,
catch them all. A heart so true.
Oh my God. That is crazy.
Oh, wow. He definitely had a story to tell. I've
never really heard anyone, and I hook up a lot on the road. I really do. I be hoeing in these streets. But I've never heard one of my hookup stories surface. Like, listen, the hoe code is real strong. These hoes be like, I ain't about to tell nobody nothing.
They don't want to fuck that shit up.
Shit.
Period.
Yeah.
But also, some of them you end up hooking up with someone because they're like the hottest person in their town. Mm-hmm. And then you realize that like this person is what we call in the business a race chaser. Like they have ended up hooking up with like multiple drag race girls because they're just like, they literally are just like really sexy and they walk around looking hot and then they just get your attention and they throw themselves at you. And then you find out that person has hooked up with like 5 of your drag sisters. And it's like, that happens often.
That is crazy. They probably have like a little Discord where they like created like a little punch card and they're trying to like
not bingo, not
like no people are wild out here. I could only imagine.
I'm thinking about like honestly, if any of the stories surface, I want to hear them. I want to like, what was your experience? Like, what was your experience?
Yeah.
I want to see. Do I even remember this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's the tea, honeybee? You know what I mean? I want to hear what people have to say.
Do you ever get a lot of "Do you remember me"?
You mean from like hookups?
Yeah. Have you ever seen someone say, "Oh, like you're back in this city. Do you remember me?" or something?
No,
Has that ever
not
happened?
really. Because I usually star them or something, so I'll But I did have a guy from way before Drag Race that I hooked up with, who was I did this thing online where I was like, if I've hooked up with you, I did this thing. It was on my Instagram story. It was like, if we've hooked up, ask me a question. or something like that. Like, only if we've hooked up, ask me a question. So I was getting all these responses from people, and I remembered a lot of them. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this day. I remember that day. Oh, I remember you. Oh, I remember you. And this one guy I just did not remember. And I was like, baby, I don't remember you. I'm so sorry. It was like, he was like, it was before Drag Race. I'm like, that was a long time ago. I lived in New York City for 12 years. I was sucking a lot of dicks. Like, I really made the rounds this thing. So like, I don't remember you. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I should do it again today. I think I'm gonna do another round of those today.
You should. I feel like that would be so fucking entertaining. That is hilarious.
I want to ask you this question because I feel like this leans into it. Like some of the good.
No playing.
Very good.
That's also not true, by the way. I don't know why I said I cut. That's not even true. They took my shit when I was a baby. They scooped
and relatable content.
Yes.
They scooped that foreskin up, baby.
Like, I guess like the good and the bad parts or unexpected parts of like just having increased visibility and like how you had to like, you know, recalibrate certain things in your life just based off of that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so the other night I went out, I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I had two great shows, and one night it was so much fun. Shout out to Mac Taylor who opened for me that night. It was a bar called The Majestic, in the gay bar there. It's called The Majestic, and I got invited over. Says I'll go to The Majestic, but I went by myself. I was by myself, and I was kind of like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, being in a gay bar by myself, it really turned into like a meet and greet really quickly, and I just wasn't. That's not why I came out. You know what I mean? But I guess I don't know what I expected. Sometimes I usually go with a group, and when you're with a group, there's like a buffer around you. People tend to be less. And like when you're out, people will cut you off in the middle of a sentence. Like, you'll be talking to someone else, they'll be like, "I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just wondering," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm answering this now." And I started doing this thing. I also don't like touching strangers. I don't like hugging strangers. I hug my friends, but I do not like hugging strangers. I mean, I think me and Kelly, we did probably like a week, 4 or 5 days together. I don't think we hugged the whole. We didn't have any like warm embraces. Maybe we did hug. Maybe when I left, I was like, "Oh, it's great."
I think when you left, yeah.
But I'm not one to like quickly just hug strangers.
Just
you
like,
know what I mean?
It's understandable.
And I do this thing where if you come up to me, I just kind of hold my phone like this, so you can't get past my phone. So this bumps into your chest, and it feels like, oh, this person is. You have to fight through this phone to try to get a hug off of me.
Yeah.
and whenever someone comes up out, if they walk out like this with their arms out, I just hold my phone up and go, "Hi," and it's not like what do you? It's like, "Oh, hey, how are you? Hey." Yeah. And this one lady got really mad. She was like, "Oh, nice, real nice, good, yeah, okay, cool." And I was so like, "I don't want to hug you, lady. I'm not like upset with. I'm not. Like, I just don't want. I'm just setting a physical boundary. Yeah, because I don't want to hug you."
It's very weird. It's weird for people to do that because I do think that like the internet is obsessed with like, we're kind of like in the age of time where celebrity, influencer, all these things, like the connection is just like being able to see like their day-to-day life. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is there was a time period where you didn't know what your favorite artist was doing on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. And now because of social media,
you see everything.
You have that access, and people claim to love it and want to, oh, they're just like me. But then in a situation like that, it's almost like you wouldn't just walk up to someone in the grocery store.
Yeah, and violate their personal space. Yeah,
it's weird. So I don't know. I just think that's a very interesting.
Yeah, people ask for hugs a lot. Specifically, they really love hugs, and I appreciate them asking as opposed to just diving in, because then I get a chance to respond, and I say I don't really love hugs. And to be honest, most of the time people go, that's fair. Most of the time people go, that's fair. And on a rare occasion, they will like leave that area and write a tweet and be like, "I cannot believe I tried to hug Bob," and Bob said, "No, what bullshit." Oh. Like that's honestly pretty rare. Most folks are like, "Oh, I see. That was actually wild of me." And now in hindsight, I can see why that would be inappropriate. So I'm very grateful for that. Are you dating Adrian?
No, I am not. Sounds.
Did I just drudge up some?
No, not at all. I'm just like, I guess I could be dating, but it's just like I just that sounds like so much work. And I'm just like,
it is work.
Dating is a lot of work, but I'm really happy. I mean, I'm happy to be in my relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I would say another thing about being like notable. I'm a little embarrassed to call myself famous, but I am notable. I'm a notable celebrity, notable person, a person of note, and is like this fear that I have of, it's like an insecurity surrounding really physically attractive people. That in my head, I'm like, you would have like never spoken to me before all of this. Like you would like, if I came into you in the club or you saw me in the club, you literally would not look at me twice. But now because I have, some notoriety, you want to talk to me. And that would like really hurt my feelings in the beginning because I noticed a difference. I mean, I noticed a few different. There was like me going to the club as like a little gay boy, and then me going to the club as like a drag queen in New York City, then me going to the club as like the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, then me going to the club as like the host of We're Here in RuPaul's Drag Race and Sibling Rivalry Podcast and the host of the Pit Stop and accolades, darling, accolades. And it was kind of like, but then I had to really step back and think to myself like, that's really shady of me because there are some people in the club who I went up to just because I thought they were attractive physically. And if they weren't attractive physically, I probably wouldn't have spoken to them. Or there are people in the club who I see dancing in a way that I think looks fun. And I'm like, if they wouldn't have been dancing that way, I wouldn't have come up to them. So yeah, I go up to people for different reasons. My friend Larry, Darnell Penn Whitfield in New York City, I went up to him in the club and met him because he was just so, like, I had never seen anyone that free having that much fun in the club. He used to do this thing where he would put a cocktail on his head and then he would run away. So he would take a sip of his cocktail, put it on his head, and then he would just run away. And everyone was like, oh, and Larry's like 6'3", 6'4", like
so
big
just
black
raining
guy,
on everybody.
like big black guy, and just like with this, like, I mean, like just the daintiest lady walking around with a cocktail, and then everyone around we would all start putting our glasses on our head, and everyone's failing. No one's doing it well, but Larry's doing it, and everyone's just like freaking out. So I went up to him. I would talk to him, but if he didn't exude that confidence, and that I probably would have never spoken to him.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think that that's okay because I wouldn't call that a bad thing because I feel like in the same right there are probably other people in the club like, what is he doing? Like it's almost like I think that that's kind of where. It's like you have to be careful when you do say things in terms of like what your taste is and what your quote unquote type is. But to me, like a trait like that is something that's to you admirable, and to me as well. I would be like, oh my, this is someone
this person is cool as hell. Yeah,
yeah. I found it really attractive. I was attracted to that energy, and being attracted to different people for different reasons is. I had to stop vilifying it. And it was really just a way for me to, honestly, it was really more than anything just a way for me to beat myself up and a way for me to be mean to myself than a way for me to like, it was just a way to be like, these motherfuckers think I'm ugly. And I'm like, did nobody say all that? Did nobody? You don't even you don't even know. I'm just assuming because less people used to talk to me in the club before, but also probably because I was like a sad sack looking little gay boy. I don't even know why. It gives me an opportunity to bully myself for things that I can't even prove.
In my experience with that, for me, and I kind of want to ask you this too, because it has had a lot to do with drag. I've kind of felt that in different spaces sometimes, where it's like once you put on this like
Kelly,
this persona.
Did you hurt your hand?
Oh no. You weren't supposed to see that. This is actually blush. You're talking about this red?
Oh, I thought it was a cast. I thought the way you.
Oh, and now I'm exposing the blush on my jacket.
I was like,
sent me. I'm just playing. No,
I was like, is that a cat? Oh, it's just sleeves. Because you had you were doing an Ariana Grande style. You know when it's all
Ariana,
up.
Yeah, I was about to give you a little Ariana.
You know when the sleeves be all. Have you seen that clip of someone? It's like it's like Ariana Grande washing her hands, and it's someone's got their sleeves over their wrist, like over their hands, and they're washing their hands.
Yeah. Yes. She'd be like, yeah. That is hilarious. No, but yeah, I just think that like just with doing drag, it's almost that thing of like you feel so powerful in drag that it's like it's there was a moment during like 2021 where I was like, have I lost, like, it's almost like you have like an identity crisis for a second where it's just like, and for me, just getting just into it at that point, maybe like a year and a half, it just kind of had me like, wait, but I think it did lead me to realize that I, kind of can view myself comfortably as non-binary. And I think for me, accepting that made me say, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm the same person. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like a lot of people kind of struggle with that, like queens and stuff. Have you ever felt that?
I would say this. Wait till we all find out. This is going to be so problematic. This is going to be the sound bite from the episode. This is going to be the sound bite. Wait until the day, bitch, we all find out this whole time we've all been non-binary. Wait until the day.
See.
Wait until the day we all find out that we've all been non-binary this entire time.
Yeah.
I've always thought that so many categories that are important, that people think are important now, like, I feel like they're going to be so, like, obsolete in like 100, 200, 300 years. I wonder how we're going to approach this conversation, like, in the future when I'm, dead,
we're
and gone and all that shit.
Maybe we're just ahead of our time. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I would say
so.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's just relatable. Like, yes, and I'm just treading lightly because it's just like, yes, everyone does have their identity, but if we all understand as trans people, as non-binary people, as queer people in general, I think we all understand that gender is a construct. So the opposing side to that would be like, oh, if this was all, if all these things were created, wouldn't we?
Then I wouldn't have to do none of this shit. Basically, like, I can define whoever I want to be, however I want to.
And everyone who says like everything's a construct, yes and no. For example, like, pain is not a construct. Calling it pain is a social construct. So hear me out. Physical pain is real. Calling it pain, that's the part that is a socially constructed construct.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in different places they call it different things. In one place you have butterflies in your stomach. In another place you got the bubble guts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all means different things to different people. And, I really had to stop and think about how race is truly is a social construct. And I found out when I went to Brazil, because people who would be considered brown in the United States of America were calling themselves white in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I was like, I remember asking someone, I was like, you think you're white? And they're like, yeah, I'm white. And I was like, baby, you're not white, baby. But obviously that was me thinking, that was through the American lens, through the lens of an American. But when they come to America, like, you're brown. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or when I went to Australia, in Australia, Aboriginals, Indigenous Australians are considered black. Mm-hmm. Like, they call them black. If an Aboriginal person or Indigenous Australian person moved to America, they wouldn't be considered black. They'd be considered brown. In America, black specifically refers to someone who is a descendant directly from Africa, like, and not in the way that we're all Africa, not like Shakira, we're all Africa. I mean, like, black people.
Yeah.
But race, the social construct is different in different societies. Oh, hello there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't think did I answer your question? I don't remember if I answered your question. I think I went on a tangent.
The ADHD, I'm like, what was my question? Like, I'm just listening.
I was getting my life.
I'm like, maybe that, I don't know, but that sounds good to me.
Yeah. I want to know what genres of movies, TVs, are you like a sci-fi kind of person? Are you like
So I used to really love superhero movies, but then something happened recently and they're just kind of annoying me. Like, I think it was around the Infinity Wars, the DC, the Justice League, and the Spider-Man movies, and I was like, not this. Like, I just don't love. Honestly, the movie that turned me on superhero movies. Honestly, it was Batman versus Superman. I was watching that movie and I was like, this is so not for me. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's because I was thinking the other day, I went to go see the Batman with Jacob, and we watched this trailer. I think it was for like, what's that movie where Tom Cruise flies planes? It's like Tom Cruise. It's like a jet fighter. Hey Google.
Oh,
what's that movie where Tom Cruise is a jet fighter?
Hold on.
According to Screen Rant. The
Top Gun.
jet is fe-
Okay.
Okay.
So
I've heard of it.
So there's a new Top Gun coming out.
Oh, see, I
And-
didn't know.
Yeah, there's a new Top Gun coming out, and like we're watching the trailer, and the trailer's all this like build up, like done, and it reveals to Tom Cruise, and like it was like this. You know how trailers are; they're so dramatic. And then after the trailer was done, this guy next to me just goes, "Nah," and I would thought it was so crazy. I was thinking to myself, the hours that went into
Into
this
making that
moment.
shit.
Like someone wrote it, which took probably a month or more.
Yeah.
And then they revised it. And then they had to pitch it. And then they had to get the rights to it. And they had to get like approved to do it. And they had to convince Tom Cruise to rejoin the cast. And then they had to cast new people. And then people made costumes. I mean, thousands of hours of making costumes, designing like fake jets, renting real jets, flying through the sky, audio mixing, people composing original songs that have never been heard ever before.
That
once.
shit is
people
wild.
acting, people going to acting school, taking classes, and then taking the whole movie and condensing it down to a
It's a
trailer, and
trailer.
then getting a second pass and a third pass, and it's the fourth pass of the trailer, and then this guy goes,
Man.
meh.
that shit. Oh my god. So wait, you didn't. So you did when you saw the Batman? Did you like it?
Okay,
I haven't
spoiler
seen it
alert. Spoiler alert. And for everyone, I'm gonna give you time right now to log off, bitch, because I'm about to spoil. Bitch, I'm like milk you left on the counter in the morning. Bitch, I'm about to spoil.
Ooh, metaphors. Okay.
So, and y'all don't mind if I spoil it for you?
I'm not.
I don't watch this.
I'm a
show
Marvel
already.
girl.
So I did not like it. If you think of all the Batman movies
Thank you.
since The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight with the one with the Scarecrow. And then you had The Dark Knight, which was the one with the Joker, and then you have The Dark Knight Rises, which was the one with Bane. If you think of all the Batman movies since then, this is my least favorite one. Now, we are in a new universe. Those were all Christian Bale. Christian Bale, with the exception of his Batman voice, I thought he was a great Batman. He was killing it. I was so impressed with what he did. The guy playing him, Robert Pattinson, is, I think that's his name. He's just like, it's just like this emo, sad. Batman's supposed to be like a playboy. He's really angry. He's got a lot of vengeance in his heart. And this guy had him. He was like kind of like a sad, like emo. But it was like Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy decided to start fighting crime. You know what I mean? And I was like, I can't deal with this. And then I thought that Zoe Kravitz's character was written really poorly. Like her whole thing was like she was trying to they like vaguely hinted at her being queer.
Oh yeah, see,
like kind of. They never explicitly said that she was trying to avenge the death of her girlfriend.
yeah,
But they kind of like made it clear without making it clear that Zoe Kravitz was in a relationship with another woman.
Yeah.
And trying to avenge her death or trying to get justice for her. And then, but also we didn't get to see the person she was in love with. So we kind of, it was like just vague. And Batman kept calling her friend. Like, where's your friend? Your friend. And she was never like, she's my fucking girlfriend and I'm looking for her body. You know what I mean? Which I was kind of like in something as dark as like the Batman, which is where people are doing drugs. Y'all can't say a bitch be dyking in these streets. Like, you can't do that.
I get it.
That's weird as hell.
Whoever played the Penguin, who I heard was Colin Farrell in like extreme prosthetics, was the best part of the movie. The best part of the movie.
I did not even know that.
Curious. Did you watch? What about Infinity War? You had said something about that.
Oh
earlier.
yes.
Oh, so I mean, I actually liked Infinity War, but something about it just kind of fatigued me because I was like, I don't need to see like 8 superheroes in one movie. Like, I really want to focus on the one superhero. I really want to focus on one. So when it's like Captain Marvel, Spider-Man,
that's what I was living
Ant-Man,
for.
the woman who shoots beams from her hands. What's her name?
I mean,
Wakanda?
there's so many.
Captain something.
Captain Marvel. That's
Captain Marvel.
The Captain Marvel. Marvel.
But then what ended up happening is I had to go back and watch all the movies for context.
See,
that's what they want you to
did that
do.
during
Like,
the
that's
quarantine. No, actually, it was Infinity War or Endgame. No. I'm getting it out of order. I went back and watched all the movies during the quarantine or before. I can't remember, but I just remember when Endgame or Infinity War, whichever one came second, I was like so freshly caught up that my brain was blown because I'm just like, I fully remember, all these characters, but I was just so obsessed.
But I had to watch. I watched Endgame first. I had to go back. So when I saw when I was watching Endgame, and then this bitch comes out of nowhere and starts like beating up Thanos with beams.
Like, what's so special?
Who is this bitch? Who the fuck is this? So I gotta go watch this fucking Captain Marvel movie. And Jake's like, oh, that's Captain Marvel. I'm like, who the fuck is she? So now I'm gonna go watch Captain Marvel, find out why everyone was gagging when she showed up. Yes, and also when I watched Captain Marvel, she's so powerful, she should have been able to fucking wipe this shit out. Now all of a sudden she just does a few hits. In the Captain Marvel movie, this bitch is God. She can kill she can blow up the whole planet.
She did. You remember
And now all of a sudden she a few hits and she leaves like she's too busy. Like, bitch, this is literally for the galaxy. This is for the universe. You can't spare some time, bitch. Hang out, bitch. Chill with us. We are literally defending half of the entire universe, bitch. Chill, hang out, bitch.
Yeah.
Where you going?
To the last minute.
But for the plot, because you can't have too many powerful characters in one play for the plot to move, So they always act like Captain Marvel's so busy, like she got other shit to handle on like different planets and shit.
Yeah, like, bitch, you not that fucking busy. And then like Thor is like in the movie, Thor is like so powerful and so strong. They just make everyone a little bit weaker when they're all together. Mm-hmm. But when they're in their own movies, these motherfuckers be on God mode. They be like, you can't do shit to them. The Hulk is so strong, but in this, the Hulk is
wouldn't even come out. Yeah.
The Hulk is getting beat the fuck up and no.
Yeah.
Not the Hulk getting just beat, destroyed, pummeled within an inch of his life.
It was bad.
And that one little nerdy nigga with no nose flying around. Ooh. He was Thanos' buddy.
Thanos' guy with the telekinesis, with the powers.
Yeah,
Squidward. Yeah. That's all I always call him, Squidward.
Oh my God. He's like,
He's like, I hate everybody.
Yeah, like, girl, what is your story? Where are you from?
Yeah, like, why are you so like? Yeah, it drove me kind of wild, and I just hated how like everyone. It was kind of like watching like a Batman movie. Like, the thing about Batman movies, and this is since I think probably even before Tim Burton was doing them. They all fight Batman one at a time. Now, you all know you can't beat Batman. There are 20 of you, and y'all are taking numbers, taking turns, hitting Batman. Go at the same time. So if y'all know, there is a very common trope in Batman movies. There's two things you will see in every Batman movie. One is Batman will disappear while you're talking to him. It's usually when you're talking to Commissioner Gordon.
He's so damn
You'll
rude
look up,
like that.
Batman's gone, right?
Rude.
The other one is a bunch of people fighting Batman one at a time, and then it saves the last person, and the last person does a lot of showing off. They do like the moves and they do all this posturing and they twirl their baton and they just kind of like land, and then Batman just hits them one time and they fall over. Those are like two things that you'll see in like every Batman movie.
Yeah.
Damn.
But they were doing that with Thanos. They were all one at a time. Like, all y'all, you telling me there is a being out there that if Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Thor, Hulk, Captain America, Ant-Man, and Iron Man were all going at the same time. Yeah, they can't do nothing to stop it. Okay,
and then
they almost had it though. If what's his name?
Who was it?
Peter Quill. Is that his name? Fucking Star-Lord.
Oh, he got too mad and then
he was like, "Where do you?"
He went to charge at Thanos.
Yeah, he was charging at Thanos when they were all Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, everybody. Miss Mamas with the antennas was holding him down, Thanos down, and Peter gonna come. Oh my God, where's Gamora? Like, what are you gonna do? You're a human being. What are you gonna do to Thanos?
Not to mention, when you go back and watch WandaVision, this bitch is the most powerful being
in the being. Yeah.
First of all, her name is Wanda, which is like, she sounds like she's working in Human Resources. Hi, I'm Wanda. My name is Wanda from Human Resources, and we want to talk about your behavior at the holiday party. So Wanda can like manipulate. She can create entire people and villages and towns and alter everyone's minds, but she can't do like, she can't stop. And then like Vision is like,
literally an infinity
He
stone.
has the infinity stone in his
He
hand,
is
and he
an
gets
infinity
he gets knocked around.
And
He
I'm
gets
like,
knocked around.
I'm like, yeah, I get it. You can't make it too easy. But like, I don't know. They should have been whooping Thanos' ass from the get.
Yeah.
From the get.
That's why see, you must have been extra confused because you watched Endgame first, and then in the beginning of Endgame, didn't they just like come in and chop his head off? Didn't they like?
They did. Thor.
Thanos?
Was it Thor?
They chopped his head off.
Came in and chopped his head off.
In the beginning of the movie, it felt like, and then they moved to a different timeline, right?
Because after he did the snap and people disappeared, they went to go find him, and he was just like picking.
He was chilling,
flowers and strawberries out the garden.
he got a farm
now he's a vegan witch all of a sudden.
Yeah, like just chilling. Like, oh, I'm at peace, killing half of humanity. Wow, like what?
But also like. But part of me is also like, Thanos isn't wrong.
He's not. It's just like, if you have all that power, but if you have all that power, you should be able to give more. If you're talking about resources, like create more instead of killing half the universe.
That's true. Yeah, if you can do anything, you can snap your fingers and make more resources. But I'm good. I'm going to get rid of half all the people.
Yeah.
It sounds like the U.S. way. That's what it sounds like.
It reminds me of The Boys, which I'm excited to see too. Have you seen The Boys?
Oh my God, I love The Boys.
I love The
Boys. First of all, there's a animated series called Diabolical. Do you know about this?
If you haven't seen it, you need to get it.
Baby, so Diabolical it's going to tide us over until season 3 comes out. Diabolical is this series based on The Boys, but they're from different animation houses. So all these different animation houses make these animated series based on The Boys. But they're all
like an anthology
completely differently. They're all like, one is like about the people who did Rick and Morty. There's like a real old school timing when it's really a cool.
That sounds good.
It's like,
and it's
I think it might be
too.
like 8 episodes, and like not longer than 15 minutes each. And
I went back and was watching some clips from The Boys, and I was like, Homelander is he's terrifying.
Yeah. Probably
you know
the scariest.
Spoiler alert to everyone again. You know the scene where there's that politician, she's like talking about like how she's sick of Compound V, and then he just lands and everyone's like, oh shit. And then there's people holding signs that say like fuck Homelander basically, and they're like,
That's when he, in his imagination, remember he sprayed them down.
Yes.
I was like,
it was wild. But then also you remember where he got into a blind spot, the blind superhero. And he was like, it's an honor to meet you, Mr. Homelander. Like, I can't believe we're here. And he's like, oh, so you do all this with your ears? And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, so what happens if I do this? And then he just like boxes his ears, and then blood just starts.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're just a useless fucking blind guy.
Homelander is like really terrible.
Did you hear the actor who plays Homelander got into a bar fight and got arrested?
Yes, I saw that too. But didn't he say something like,
he was like, you don't know who you
don't know what you've done, or you're gonna fucking kill you or some shit like that. I was like,
he done got lost in character.
He did. He's method acting.
I was like, you're just a regular guy. You can't. Oh, when he was looking for his son, and he fucking just. So you remember when all those people?
Oh my God!
From Vought were like, they stormed in, and then when he closed that door, and was like, "Where's my son?" And then he just like lasered this guy just down the middle.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But see, the reason I like The Boys is because that's how I feel superheroes would actually be like in real life.
Yeah.
Like if they had that much power and they didn't have to answer to anybody, the only thing Homelander answers to is his own ego and his own desire to be loved by the masses. Anything other than that, it doesn't matter. So I feel like if someone has that much power, they can lift trucks over their heads. Like, I'm sorry. They're not going to be.
The crazy thing about it, Homelander doesn't even have to use his strength because the laser vision. Homelander, like when I watch it, I get like, he is terrifying.
No, it's scary as fuck. Have you seen Invincible?
Yes, I've seen Invincible.
So the dad from Invincible versus Homelander, who's gonna win?
Shit, I'm
gonna say it's gonna be Homelander because I've seen the dad from Omni-Man.
Omni-Man. Yep.
I've seen Omni-Man down bad. When he was fighting against those guys, he was kind of down bad for a second. When they were he like wrapped his head. He had to go to the hospital. Homelander ain't never been. Homelander don't go to hospitals. Homelander's like, I'm good.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone is afraid of him. Like, even when Invincible was fighting against Omni-Man, Invincible, I mean, he wasn't really doing a very good job.
Invincible never did a good job in the entirety of the show.
Oh, at all.
But they were able to like get Omni-Man down. I have never seen Homelander even in a compromising situation
Injured at all. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, I didn't think about it like that. I was like, Nolan's kind of crazy. Like, Nolan, Omni-Man is, ugh.
When Omni-Man was like fighting against honestly, it kind of seems like they're the same cartoon almost, or the same show almost.
Yeah.
When Omni-Man was looking for his son, remember that?
Yeah.
And he's like fighting all those agents. He like pushed that guy through the counter.
Yeah.
Because they're all invincible. They're all invisible, and he just started just
tearing through them,
ripping them to shreds. I was like, this is like, I'm so glad people like this don't exist. This shit would be horrifying.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because imagine if you're like, I can't go to jail. You can't arrest Homelander.
No, yeah. He can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever.
What was that
wants.
movie Will Smith played in where he had superpowers? Kind of like the same thing. Hancock.
Yeah.
It gives very much Hancock energy.
Yeah.
Imagine a movie with all three of them, like Omni-Man,
They would
Well,
be
Hancock was
each
kind
other.
of drunk and kind of like a disgraced superhero.
Yeah.
Who publicly was like
but also
living,
couldn't die.
was powerful
like
as
living on the
fuck, too.
streets. I haven't seen Hancock in a while.
Yeah, that movie's really. It takes me out every time. Like, call me asshole one more time.
We got to give Will Smith his Oscar at some point for something.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he's been in so much shit. Has like changed the fucking culture. Like,
He's gonna win his Oscar when he plays Obama. He's gonna play Obama for sure.
You think so?
For sure.
Oh my God, that would be perfect. Actually,
Well, he better hurry up though, because him and Obama are not too far in age. You need to hurry up because
they're gonna do that CGI like Gemini Man. Remember?
How old is
The
Barack
younger him.
Obama? Obama's 60. How old is Will Smith? 53. Yeah, he better.
Okay. I don't know why I thought
Yeah.
Obama was younger than that.
I actually have one more question for you. I want to, because I see a lot of people talking about this, and I actually asked the question on my Instagram, and the girls were fighting, and I was like, let me go ahead and put this. Yeah, they were fighting. How do you feel about artists who are deemed to be problematic or canceled, and still having like a place in like music and pop culture? So, for example, Azalea Banks is someone who clearly the world knows, like, it's part of her brand to, antagonize, be problematic, XYZ. But then there is this flip side where it's like people don't outwardly support her, but like they kind of do at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's like that weird line. So just how do you feel about like cancel culture and just like being able to consume things from people who are deemed problematic? The Baby, Azalea, R. Kelly, like things like that.
So I think it is a couple of things. It's nuanced. You know what I mean? When you think about Azalea Banks or any person who has been canceled, you think about the severity of their allegations or their crimes. What Azalea Banks is doing is not a crime. There's no crimes happening. What Bill Cosby's doing is literally a crime. Like, it's a actual. He was arrested, the whole 9 yards. Crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you think about supporting Bill Cosby, you could potentially be funding that behavior. When you give Bill Cosby money, you give him power. When you give him views, you give him power, which allows him to harm more
Continue to
people.
do what he's doing, yeah.
Azalea Banks is a person who with a lot of mental illness, which she's come clean about. And I think that I take that into consideration when I think about. I did a diss track of Azalea Banks years ago, and I put it on my YouTube page. I took it down because I couldn't stand by it anymore. I did it because she made fun of Monet Exchange, and I was in my feelings because she made fun of my best friend, and I was like, "Fuck you, bitch! Let's go." You know what I mean? But then I had to step back and I realized, like, this is actually just a woman who has a lot of mental illness who's acting out because she doesn't know any better, or because she can't help herself, should I say?
Right.
And I felt it's kind of the same way I felt about our buddy Kanye West. Yeah. Kanye West. There was a point I said it is no longer fun to make fun of Kanye West because he's clearly going through something. Obviously, this man is in mental anguish and needs help from a professional. Yeah. So for me, it became less funny to make fun of Kanye West anymore. once I step back and look at like him posting like 60 Instagram posts a day, threatening to kill and beat up Pete Davidson, doxing his child. This is wild behavior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that for me personally, it is about the severity of the person's allegations. You know, if when you think about who's the guy who the guy from Seinfeld who kept saying nigger over and over again.
Oh yeah. On the voice
Kramer.
call?
I don't remember his name, but Kramer, the guy who plays Kramer. He was at a comedy club and these black folks were interrupting him. This is years ago. These black folks were interrupting him, and he started calling them niggers, like real like hard ER, like aggressively. And ever since I saw that, I was just kind of like, I just can't see you the same. Now I know what you think about me and my people and us, and I just can't think of you the same. Me personally.
Yes,
I'm not telling other
like
folks
subjective.
they can't watch Seinfeld. I'm just saying, whenever I've never watched Seinfeld anyway, but if I were to see an episode of Seinfeld, the first thing I would think when Kramer walks in is he thinks I'm a nigger.
Yeah. You know? I'm happy that you said that. It's definitely subjective to the person to decide, who they want to support, and the clear line between crime and just like, having opinions or having like mental health issues. Now, I do think the only thing that kind of makes that tricky is when we talk about like hate crimes and what are like deemed to be like a hate crime situation. But basically a lot of the comments were just talking about how like it's crazy that you could still listen to someone who is all these obics and things like that. And it's just like, there are people who still are like mad at Doja Cat because of the chat room situation. It's like,
I remember
it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how even when things are proven to be, it's kind of like, we were talking about this last night just in terms of like, is cancel culture a real thing or is it not? Because it's almost seeming like, it's like, almost seeming like,
cancel culture can be a real thing. Like Bill Cosby's done. He's canceled. Like, I mean, he's also old as hell, but even if you wanted to, Bill Cosby it's a rap on Bill Cosby. It is a rap on R. Kelly. People can go back and listen to old R. Kelly. That nigga not making no more new songs. He not dropping no more albums. He's not going on no more tours. He's not making no more appearances. R. Kelly is done. He's about to live in his compound with his 18 girlfriends, and that is his existence from now. He is canceled. You know what I mean? I also think it is interesting to note that it is a lot easier, and I am not in any way advocating or condoning their behavior, but it is a lot easier for black people, black men especially, to get canceled than it is for their white counterparts.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like David Dobrik on YouTube had a video where a woman is sexually assaulted in the video.
Oh, yeah, that shit.
In the video.
I haven't seen that.
He posted the video, and he's fine. Yeah. Everything's great. He's not.
Yeah. There are a lot of instances like that, especially like social media, like YouTubers who are really big and like they're not black. Like the things that they're allowed to do, even in terms of the algorithm, you talking about TikTok and all that shit, like the things that certain segments of people are allowed to get away with and other people aren't. It's just like, okay.
Now, granted, again, the difference is I don't know that I'm not a lawyer. I don't know that what David Dobrik did is technically illegal. I do know that what Bill Cosby and R. Kelly did is illegal. They both got arrested for their crimes. And of course, anyone wondering, Bill Cosby is out of jail, but not because he's innocent. Bill Cosby's out of jail because the way they convicted him is illegal. So Bill Cosby being released from jail is not he's not being abdicated. He's not being absolved of his crimes. All they're saying is he was not given due process, a fair due process. The way they convicted him was illegal, so he got out of jail on a technicality. Probably very rich and shit.
From the way I understand it, that's like he had agreed previously with somebody else on something. Even if they didn't write it down, the agreement still stood, and they shouldn't have technically convicted him on no shit. So it's like,
so he's just good. He's just free to go from there
until unless they can convict him, or unless they can prove his crimes in another way.
Oh, okay.
So the crimes have been proven. It's just the way they were proven is illegal. So he got released from jail.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Welcome to the justice system. That's why we say we need justice system reform, honey. Justice system reform.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was saying, like, I mean, obviously there are people like Phil Spector, who I think is dead now. Phil Spector, he was canceled, but also before there were terms like canceled, and he was also in prison. So
Oh shit.
Phil Spector wasn't about to make no more music for a hot minute because of the whole prison thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you think about people like, O.J. Simpson, who got canceled years ago before anyone ever even uttered the word cancel. But then again, it's because he's being accused of a very egregious crime.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then you think when you make it more small scale, you think of things like Joe Rogan versus Whoopi Goldberg. Joe Rogan got caught saying the N-word over 70 times on his podcast. They had to remove like hundreds of hours of podcast because he wouldn't stop saying nigger. There's more niggas on his podcast than on the fucking south side of Chicago. Like, he was really throwing the niggas around.
But it's just like, I feel like I feel like it just, like you said, nuance. Like, it just depends so much. Because like Joe Rogan is gonna continue to be Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? No matter how many N-words he says, like, I feel like his audience, they do not care. Well,
he's also an anti-vaxxer, and
that's what I'm saying.
He's a fucking he's transphobic. Joe Rogan is messy. Joe Rogan is a messy queen. Is what Joe Rogan is. Are you about to get canceled, Ocean? Am I about to have to distance myself from you? Are you getting ready for your cancellation?
Let me tell you something. If I get canceled, it's if you stay canceled, you ain't gotta get canceled. Period.
If you stay canceled, you ain't gotta get canceled.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, thank you all for having me today. This has been really lovely. I love this little chat.
Yes. This has been so fun. So one thing that we like to do every time we leave, I always ask Adrian, what do you want to leave the people with? It could just be anything from what we talked about, anything that's been on your consciousness, just little words of wisdom to the people that you feel that you just want to tell the listeners out there.
I was always give out the best advice I ever thought of. I used to lie and say that someone gave me this advice, but it's not true. I thought of it myself. Advice sounds fierce when my mom once said, you know what I mean? But I've always said, whenever anyone gives you advice, always consider the source. Always remember that. If a broke bitch telling you how to make money, don't listen to that bitch. If you got a single friend telling you how to get a man, what do you know about getting a man? Bitch, why would I listen to you of all people? You know what I mean?
This is really where the bomb drops be coming in. This is where I like to get crazy. Adrian's like, what the fuck is going on?
I love it.
Whenever someone gives you any amount of advice, always consider the source. Do you want to be like this bitch? But there's also a chance where you could be learning from them too. Maybe they're someone who had wealth, lost it, was like, don't do what I did. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So just always consider the source.
Period. What about you, A?
There was someone had brought something up to me on my social media, just my specific social medias. And just like, it was a specific situation about how their family was using certain events to like try and manipulate them back into the, and obviously they're on bad terms with their family. And I don't know what I'm bringing that up to say, just try not to allow events and stuff to push you in areas where you never felt safe. You don't feel safe, I think a lot of people use like people's deaths or births or weddings or graduations or whatever to try and brush over issues instead of like talking about them openly or actually showing that they give a fuck about you. And they try to be like, oh, you ain't coming to graduation. Oh, you ain't coming to wedding. It's like, okay, but if I'm not comfortable in that situation, then I'm not comfortable in that situation.
Like we ain't talked in 3 years and now all of a sudden,
Exactly.
It's like,
so, like just, I don't know. That was on my mind specifically. Like just don't allow people to like strip you of your autonomy, especially if you've already made clear that you're uncomfortable about certain things.
Yeah.
Fierce.
Absolutely.
That's good advice. How about you, Kelly?
Mine is going to be just simple manifestation. There are things that happen that just kind of like career-wise, personal life, relationship, things that happen and you just say, oh, I did say that was going to happen. And even just this interview, very thankful to have you, Bob. So just thinking about that post from the Instagram that I sent you in 2016 when I was 20 years old and now I'm 27 is really dope to be working with you and have worked on We're Here. Make sure y'all check out We're Here on HBO. It's fucking amazing. It's a great show. You want to tell them a little bit, Bob?
Yeah. Do you
About We're
do you
Here.
ever play out with songs? The show you should play out with our song that we worked on for HBO.
Oh,
That
we
can be the
do
play
an
out.
outro. That's the outro today. That's the outro.
So I'm getting ready to film season 3 of We're Here, and luckily on season 2, Ocean Kelly and I were able to do an original track for my drag kids in Watertown, South Dakota. And it was actually the first time that we've actually had a written song on the show. We had a licensed, real, like, not just some random sample, like a licensed version of Sisters by Bette Midler and not Raquel Welch, Bette Midler and Linda Ronstadt. There it is. And honestly, it's really great. And me and Kelly collabed on some lyrics. Kelly did all the mixery-do, and it was really fierce.
The mixery-do. I like
mixery-do.
that. I'm still in that.
Good name for it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bob. I've had so much fun.
Can I say one thing too? I was looking at Adrian Expression's Instagram, and I would say, Ocean Kelly, all your friends be thoughting on Instagram.
Yeah.
Every person you
Rightfully
associate
so.
with be thoughting on the gram. I was like, oh my god, oh my god.
Yes.
Honestly, good for you. You better work.
I love it. I love it. Wow. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Who's your other friend who be thoughting on Instagram?
DeWanda.
Yeah, I was like, I remember going through the one Instagram being like, oh my god.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Yes.
You better work. All right, y'all be safe.
All right.
All
Have a
right,
good one. See y'all next time. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
My sister thick as these, and if you come for my sis, roll up your sleeves. 'Cause I can tell you what I might do. Get slick and I'll hit you with the 1-2. I was gone for a minute counting up the racks. Now I'm back from the break and I'll break your back. Mess around and you end up blue and black. You want the front of the energy, you want the back. Not